Yes, it's on Friday, and a quick overview of what I'm expecting as of today. So, from this week, you can see from my context area, price has been pushing higher of the weekly fair value immediate rebalance, this and also the daily fair value gap. We had a sting into that. Then on Monday, pushed higher Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then on Friday. And all my the first target, which was the previous month's high, and scenario two was these these the context area, because the first context area or scenario one was this small daily fair value gap. I don't know whether you can see. Let's Okay, the first context area or my scenario one was this daily fair value gap that you can see here. But also I had a scenario two where price could dig deeper into this area, which scenario two took place, and then we have been pushing higher to the first target. Then later on we can see the second target has been met, and I finally have those highs that I want to see the market rally to those high. So for now, I think we want to make this chart clean because the target has been met, and also all these should be visible only in the daily time frame. I think so. And what can we see as of today is yesterday we tapped into this daily fair value gap, then we did have that nice rejection, and currently we have swept above this previous swing high, and we are currently displacing higher. And since we have this swing high, all the liquidity is resting above this high, so I want to observe the lower time frame structure to see whether we could be pushing higher. So want to see higher prices. We have a target, which is those highs, and now the next thing is trying to identify the context area. So of the 4-hour time frame, you can see what price did at this time is we came close proximity to my target. Price engineered liquidity had a drop off, and those who were maybe seeing that the market is going lower were triggered, or the market faked them that the market looks bearish. But we tapped into that daily fair value gap, also the 4-hour fair value gap, then we pushed higher, and currently the market is displacing higher. So if we are bullish, from which areas are we likely to expect a reversal off of? So we have this 4-hour fair value gap, we have this 4-hour fair value gap over there, which if the market is bullish, I want to see a sting into it. So 4-hour FEG bottom right. So this is my first context area. Then later on, if we do not have any sign of a price pushing off this level, then we might also expect maybe a deeper drop, because also we must remember it's on Friday. So this candle has 1 hour 6 minutes to close, so I will not be rushing into it because of this fair value gap. But if price had already traded into the fair value gap and then expanded higher, that will be nice. But for now, the scenario is we haven't really tapped into this fair value gap, and so we need to be very careful. And whenever we have a scenario like this, when we have two fair value gaps that are maybe not in close proximity, or we have two fair value gaps, for this instance fair value gap 1 and fair value gap 2, we talked about the types of fair value gaps, whereby we said we have a breakaway fair value gap and a consolidation fair value gap. So the high probability fair value gap is this consolidation fair value gap, or a deep retracement, but I don't think whether this is a deep retracement fair value gap. It's just a consolidation fair value gap, which is a high probability for us to see a sting into it, then a push higher, compared to a breakaway gap, which most of the time is left open. And a good example is I want to identify breakaway gap example is this. Not always a fair value gap is always traded into as the market pushes higher. When we have a target, for this instance we have maybe these highs that the market should rally to, and the market just displaces, maybe utilized one of the fair value gap. So the next set of fair value gaps, most of the time they are not traded into. So for this scenario, also we have another scenario whereby it seems like we are having breakaway fair value gaps, but what the market does, it dips into them, rejects, then we continue higher. So the same might be happening. So that's why we really need to wait for this candle to be closing, so that if we have that the market rejecting lower, then we might be observing whether we might also trade into these levels. But because this area is confirming also a fair value area, because you can see, I want to align, yeah, the second target confirms a 4-hour fair value area, 1 2 3, so 3 price legs. So from the high of price leg number 2 to the low of price leg number 2, that's what I refer to as a fair value area. And so if we see any deep retracement, then from this level we can also be monitoring pushes higher. But all that are just possibilities that might happen. And for that, what we need to be watching is actually what price is telling us. So from the 1 hour, what we are seeing, the candle has 3 minutes before it closes. And if I turn on my session liquidities, is we have London lows overlapping with the 4-hour fair value gap, but the Asia lows are deep and lower. So what happened during Asia is gold expanded higher, which is good. So in this scenario, we need to observe price action. Is price action really signaling that we might go deep, tap into that fair value gap, then go higher? Because it's also a likelihood that price will just continue expanding, going higher, because also we are in close proximity to the target or those highs that I've told you, which is this line. Since we are in close proximity, we might expect the market displacing. A good example is over here. We had a fair value gap that wasn't really traded into. The market expanded, then later on we dropped. So the market might expand to the target, then later on we might come to rebalance. Maybe if we could have engineered more other liquidities, then the market will continue higher. So that's what I'm trying to figure out what is likely to happen, and that is I will be waiting for 1 hour to close, for the 7 a.m. for the 8 a.m. candle to be closing, so that I might try to look for a trade. But currently what is happening is the market had tapped into this 1 hour fair value gap with this candle. We pushed higher, we swept those liquidities, again we dropped into the fair value gap, into this 1 hour fair value gap. Over here we tapped into that, then the next drop into the fair value gap, we swept the low or the swing low. This swing low around this level was swept by this, then the market started displacing higher, and currently it seems we will be confirming a change in market, change in state of delivery, because price has closed above these bearish candlesticks. And if we have fair value gaps that are confirming, that are being formed going higher from the lower time frames, then there's a likelihood that we might expect a push going higher. And so we drop further to the 30 minutes time frame, the same into that fair value gap. We swept the liquidities there, then price displaced higher. No fair value gap yet confirmed. Currently we are sweeping these liquidities above this high, and seemingly we are consolidating. We need to have nice displacements, fair value gaps leading to fair value gaps that will give us that confirmation that we are more likely expecting price to sting into this level before going back to the fair value gap, or we need first to drop into these areas, then later on we can expand. So just waiting to see what price will be telling us. For now, I'm expecting to be chilled for the next 1 hour, unless I see some nice displacements, then I can get involved. But 15 minutes also, we have no fair value gap confirmed. No fair value gap that is confirmed, but what we are seeing is price is closing above this high, as well as we are disrespecting bearish fair value gaps. But that, don't think whether I can rush into that unless otherwise. For now, yeah, for now, let's wait and see what will be happening. And I think we might expand higher with what I'm seeing. We might be expanding higher. So if we have any push above this high, if a candle closes above this high, then I will be looking for a 1 to 2 before the market maybe hits that target. But until then, let's see what this 15 minutes candle will do with this high, because we might sweep the high, then we drop lower, and I don't want to be caught in a consolidation. I'll have to wait for confirmations. And also, we had the trade that we talked of yesterday, and a quick review of what I saw. And what I talked in that video is we had a sweep into, we had a sting into the daily fair value gap, which was my context area. Then price had dropped, we had a sweep of liquidities, then price has displaced higher, confirming a change. By that time, what was happening after the sweep of liquidity is drop to the 15 minutes time frame to try and observe what our price is doing at that level. And what I usually want to see over context area is displacement with fair value gaps. So of this level, you can see you couldn't really compare the bearish candle with the bullish candle, because the bullish candles were so heavy and the price was displacing nicely, forming fair value gaps. And after identifying these, immediately the candle was about to close, I entered at that level, and my stops were below the 15-minute swing point with a 1 to 2. Price displaced higher as the candle was printing, was watching out and marking up my charts. And that's why you can see this purplish rectangle, which is a breaker block. This breaker block, we have a low, a high, a low that took out the previous low. Then price closed above this swing high that had created this swing low, and so the up close candle to me is the breaker block. And we had that 1 hour fair value gap that was traded into, and at this time I didn't really want to trail my stops to break even. Then the market expanded higher, though I have my TP at this level. I want to see the market going to that highs, and then I will be taking everything out, because the amount I risked was a small amount. So with the small risk and kinda possibly a swing trade, that's why I didn't take my profits at a 1 to 2, letting it slide to my TP. So that is it, waiting for price to be closing above that, then I'll respond accordingly above this swing high. That's what I'm waiting for, so that I might maybe see whether I might take a trade to this level.